Hey guys, Laura Parrish here, better known as the hashtag TNS Mastermind, and I'm coming to you live from my home here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. It's late Wednesday night or early Thursday morning, depending on where you live, what your time zone is. But as usual, I just got off of a team call that was absolutely amazing, and I just wanted to come to you guys and share some value that I shared with my team because I really think it will help you in your personal life and in your business. And that is this: other people's rules do not apply to your life, right? Just like your rules don't apply to other people's lives. And I want to give you some really extraordinary examples of that. And so here's the first thing I want you to ask yourself. Have you ever found yourself in a restaurant or a store like Target or Walmart or a grocery store or whatever the case may be, and you see other people behaving in a way that you just don't think is right or you don't think is cool? Or you see other people who are allowing their children to behave in a way that you don't think is right or you don't think is cool, right? And it frustrates you or whatever, and you want to say something, but you mind your business because it's not your business or whatever. Have you ever had at least the thought, right, or the feeling? I'll be the first to admit I'm guilty. That actually happened to me this morning at Walmart, right? And but do you say something? What do you do? Well, first you have to understand that your rules, what you think is the right thing for other people to doing, does not apply to them, right? Just like if you were doing something or your kids were doing something and someone looked at you or thought about you in a certain way, their rules and what they think is right does not apply to you, right? That may be right for them. That may be the way they live their life, but they don't know what's going on with you, right? Just like you don't know what's going on with them. And in business, this relates to, I'm sure if you work in the biz op industry, if you're an internet marketer like I am, and I'm an independent affiliate for a company called Empower Network. I've been with them for over 3 years. My results are not typical. I know you see checks behind me. I've made multiple six figures. To see the income disclaimer, you can go to www.myincomedisclosure.com to see the results of people who choose to be average, but I choose to be extraordinary. Again, be greater than average, right? Choose to be extraordinary. So anyway, yeah. So check it out. So do you say something? Do you not say something? Is it your right to say something or not your right? Your rules don't apply to other people just like their rules don't apply to you. But here's the thing, like in the business, people say to you, that's a scam. Don't waste your money. Get a real job. Have you heard that? Say hi if you've heard that. I know you guys are commenting right now or shaking your head yes that you have heard people, friends, family members, whatever, come to you and tell you that about what you're trying to do in your life. And what do you say to them? How do you react? Do you try to talk them into it? Do you try to convince them? I'm here to say don't. You can't convince anyone of anything they don't want to be convinced of, right? You cannot speak other people into greatness. They have to want greatness for themselves. You can simply say, that's cool. That's the rules that apply to your life, but unfortunately for me, it doesn't apply to mine, right? And just understand that just because someone else believes a set of standards or whatever, that doesn't mean that it applies to you. And they don't know what you're doing. And obviously that's why they don't understand. So they automatically say that it's not real. But here is the big key thing that I wanted to share with you that'll really make you think about this concept and about this example I'm giving you. There is a very, very famous gentleman in the self-development field. I'm sure you all know him if you're watching this video because you've heard me talk about him before. His name is Stephen Covey, and he's written multiple books. Here's just a few. First Things First, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and The 8th Habit. All great books. You should read them if you haven't. But he's an extraordinary man. If you've read any of his stuff or know anything about him, you already know that. But I want to share something that happened to him that he did that will absolutely blow your mind, right? So he was on a subway one time, and there was a gentleman that came on the subway with 5 or 6 children. I can't remember how many kids it was, but it was a lot of kids, right? And the children were just running amok. They were running rampant and not listening, not paying attention, not showing any amount of respect or regard to anyone else on the subway. And the father was seemingly not even paying attention to them. It was like he was completely ignoring them. And so that's why I asked earlier in the example, have you ever been in like a Walmart or a Target or a grocery store or a restaurant and you've seen kids running around and you think to yourself, man, why don't those parents do something? Like, don't they see that their kids are out of control type thing? So Stephen was on this subway and he noticed it, and it was, he's a pretty laid back guy, likes it quiet, but it was increasingly agitating to him. And so finally it got to the point where he decided he was going to speak up and say something. And so he looked at the gentleman and very kindly and politely, you know, said, hey, do you see your kids are kind of like going crazy? Do you think it might be a good idea to, you know, calm them down, whatever, say something to them? And the man also very politely, not rude or anything like that, looked back at Stephen and said, you know, you're right. I probably should, but we just left the hospital and their mother just died. So I don't even think they know how to act right now or how to handle that, because right now I don't know how to act and I don't know how to handle that. And that's just like, whew, boom. Can you imagine how he felt after being told that, when he had just said to this gentleman, hey, do you think maybe you should, your kids are kind of like out of control type thing, right? And that goes to prove the point that our rules do not apply to other people's lives, just like their rules do not apply to ours. It goes to prove the point that you don't know what is going on in someone else's life, or why they're doing what they're doing, or why they're not doing what you think they should be doing. But the bottom line is, you do what you do, right? And you let other people do what other people do, and you support people and you lift other people up, and you believe in the goodness of people and try to help someone, because you don't know what's going on with them. You know what I mean? You have no idea. And these people who don't believe, like when people don't conscionably understand something, right? Like my best month inside of Empower Network thus far has been $33,700 in 1 month. Income disclaimer again. People, that's not conscionable to people, because that's more money than many people make in an entire year. So to hear someone has made that in a month, they're like, oh, that can't be real. It's got to be fake. It's got to be a scam, right? Because our brains don't work that way. It's just so hard to believe we don't understand it. And the thing is, when people don't understand things, they automatically cut it off. Their mind is not open to it, and they say, that's a scam. It can't be real, blah, 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 right? Well, for those of us who are doing it, we know better. It is real, right? And the best thing that I can do is to share my experience and strength with other people and show them the way, right? How I've done what I've done, and to always believe in the goodness of people and understand before I pass judgment, because it's not my place to pass judgment. It's none of our places, quite honestly, is to understand that I don't know what's going on in someone else's life or what they're dealing with, right? And to always think that my rules do not apply to other people. So my nugget for you today, tonight, whatever, whenever you're watching this, is the next time something's happening, that you see something that's bothering you or agitating you, or you think someone should be acting in a different way, or someone should be doing whatever with their kids, discipline or whatever, take a step back and think that your rules do not apply to other people, and that you don't know what's going on in their life, right? And in the same voice, when people come to you and call what you're doing a scam, or don't believe in you, or think you should get a real job, or tell you to quit, or you're wasting your money, keep in mind that their rules do not apply to you, right? Their rules don't apply to you. I appreciate you so much. Thanks so much for letting me come into your heads, to your hearts, to your homes tonight. And if you're interested in doing what I'm doing, you can go to www.crossthestart.com to learn more information. And if you'd like to check out my blog, you can go to www.lauraparrish.com. I appreciate you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.